Hey guys, I'm going to share an excerpt with you from the book titled 1984 by George Orwell, which was published in 1949. Quote, "Where did that knowledge exist? Only in his own consciousness, which in any case must soon be annihilated. And if all others accepted the lie which the party imposed, if all records told the same tale, and the lie passed into history and became true, who controls the past?" ran the party's slogan. Controls the future, and who controls the present controls the past. And yet the past, though of its nature alterable, never had been altered. Whatever was true now
Hey guys,
hey
I want to share an excerpt.
guys, I want to share an where did that knowledge exist? Only in his own consciousness, which in any case must soon be annihilated. And if all others accepted the lie which the party imposed, if all records told the same tale, then the lie passed into history and became true. Who controls the past? ran the party's slogan. Controls the future. And who controls the present? Hey guys, I was hoping I could play that video for you. I just uploaded it to Patreon yesterday morning. I think it's the signal. I live way out in the middle of the boonies. Though I have a good signal, I don't know. Probably user error. That's my hunch. Hey, K. Cooper. Hey, Private Pirate. K. Cooper, I'm not up yet. I'll be up in about an hour. So we have about an hour to talk. But yeah, I have a busy day today, so I set the alarm early, and I normally don't even use an alarm. So of course I clicked on, I checked out to see who was fighting with who, right? So I went to the main fighter channel, and I said something to the effect of, I think that entire Screamfest was scripted. And then the recliner lady went off on her little tangent. I think it's really so manly of her to block and then bash. That's how gutsy they are. Block and then bash. And then lie and lie and lie some more while they sit there complaining about other people lying about them supposedly, which, by the way, is a lie. What do you guys think? Do you think that the Scream Fest was an act, or do you think it was genuine? I think it was just like that falling down the stairs video. I think it was scripted, and I think it was poorly acted out. I know, I thought it was hilarious. And then you watch just a few Facebook videos and you think you can diagnose Christopher Watt's wife. Oh, you know what, recliner lady, really? Go get a job. Try it sometime. Expand your horizons a little bit. And try to stick with the truth, even though I know your scripts rarely touch on the truth. It is. It's like a comedy sketch. It really is. And you know, they even have acting classes online now where they don't even have to leave their kitchen or leave their recliner. They could take acting classes and try to improve a little bit, but yeah, hasn't happened yet. Or I don't know, maybe they have taken acting classes and this is as good as they get. I thought it was interesting too, the two names that she mentioned. Like, what? Are you kidding me? What? I bet you they're both trying to make their own channels or something. Or, you know, get their start by being her mods. How's that go? What a crock of, well, you know. Well, Ray, we only have 5 subs. She's evidently unaware of all of our discussion groups. Or I should say, whoever's writing her script for the night is unaware of all of our members. What should we expect, right? More of the same. Which brings us to the Doublethink of 1984, the little video that I was hoping to be able to play. I wonder if I might be able to get the audio. Let's see. I might just be able to play audio. Let's see if I can swing that. I'm not sure. Let's see here. I'll mute for a second and try to find it. I'll try to play the audio and let me know if you can hear it. I'll play just the audio only.
Hey guys, I want to share an excerpt with you from the book titled 1984 by George Orwell, which was published in 1949. Quote,
Can you guys hear that or no? Private Pirate saying, I'm trying to think of who Recliner Lady is. It's best you don't know. That is, you could hear it, Ray? I'll go ahead and do it that way then. Okay, good. I'll just do the audio. Listen to this. It's short, but I think a couple of the parts of this little excerpt from the book 1984, I think is very telling, specific to the case discussion on the case of Christopher Watts, aka the case from hell.
where did that knowledge exist? Only in his own consciousness, which in any case must soon be annihilated. And if all others accepted the lie, which the party imposed, if all records told the same tale, then the lie passed into history and became truth. Who controls the past, ran the party's slogan, controls the future. And who controls the present, controls the past. And yet the past, though of its nature alterable, never had been altered. Whatever was true now was true from everlasting to everlasting. It was quite simple. All that was needed was an unending series of victories over your own memory. Reality control, they called it in Newspeak. Doublethink. To know and not to know. To be conscious or complete. Truthfulness while telling carefully constructed lies. To hold simultaneously two opinions, which canceled out, knowing them to be contradictory and believing in both of them. To use logic against logic. To repudiate morality while laying claim to it. To forget whatever it was necessary to forget, then to draw it back into memory again the moment when it was needed, and then promptly to forget it again.
Could you hear that okay? The part of it that I thought really nailed the case of Christopher Watts was this part, quote, to repudiate morality, then to lay claim to it. How many times have the scumbag attackers said, oh, the fighting's got to stop. Everybody needs to just get along. Oh, we need to be respectful of each other. It doesn't matter what opinion we have. We need to respect each other's opinion. Right? Let's all get along. Let's all pretend like we're a mediator. Let's all talk it out. Let's just be nice. It's all part of their script. Exactly. Exactly, Christy. It's all in the numbers. Exactly right. 66,000 subscribers and supposedly 700 in chat. Yeah, okay. And how many of them, if you take it a step further, Christy, how many of them are actually engaging in the chat itself? Even the 700, I think, are fluffed up. Ray says, is it toddler safe? We should start reading stories to your toddler. What's going on with the case of Christopher Watts is exactly what was written about in 1984. It's called Doublethink. We're not the only ones who saw all of those videos and all of those posts on social media. We're not the only ones who saw the photos of poor little Bella and Cece sleeping with their faces covered with blankets and pillows. We're not the only ones who saw the video of Christopher Watts' wife saying she gave the girls lots of Tylenol. We're not the only ones who saw the video of poor little Bella getting sprayed right in the face. They use logic against logic. And they claim the whole morality thing. Well, I have yet to see anything moral about the way they treat others. Yes, Private Pirate, exactly right. Exactly right. A flipping genius, Ray, exactly. And that was written in 1949. Just imagine how shocking his work would have been for people in 1949. They would have read it and thought, no way, no way. Meanwhile, in Ireland, you are stuck on repeat. Oh, Ray says, I'm not stuck on repeat. I'm a boss, babe. Kay Cooper said, was it true that the girls' rooms had locks on their doors so they couldn't get out? Wouldn't surprise me if SW did that. You know, it wouldn't surprise me if she had a lock on her door. And I'm still wondering if maybe her door was on the main floor. Oh, Ray got locked in as a kid. We should call this chat True Confessions. Ray, were you running away at an early age? I think it's interesting that one of the main scumbag attackers, we have now elevated her to that role based on her own actions. Oh my goodness. I think it's interesting that one of the main scumbag attackers is being used as the launching pad for the little scumbag attackers in training. I thought that was very interesting. You can learn a lot just by listening to the bullshit they say. I also think it's interesting that suddenly she gives a rat's ass about discussing the case. You know, like, how dare you? How dare you? How dare we do what? How dare we care about what Bella and Cece suffered through? Yeah, on this channel, we consider what the kids are going through. That's for sure. It's all an act over there, every bit of it. And I think it's all an act over in the kitchen, too. Both the kitchen and the recliner lady. I think the kitchen lady and I don't like the name kitchen lady. I like the name Alice. I think both Alice, we need a better name for recliner lady, too. Maybe her little spies who are sitting here listening could come up with a few good ideas for us. Something complimentary. Let's see. Something in a positive light. Well, I think she is a good mom. I do. I think she's a good mom. Well, I don't know. Did you guys see that BX video? I didn't know about her name calling. That was bad. So I guess I don't know. Something more complimentary than recliner lady, though. I like her moo-moos. She has really pretty moo-moos. Don't you think? I think she has some, nice little styling going on. We could call her the moo-moo lady because she has really pretty moo-moos. Christy likes horizontal whiner. I think we should give a shout out to her pretty clothes, though. And she does try with her makeup and all. Even like her lip gloss that she says isn't really lipstick. I've never seen lip gloss that cakes on the cherry red that dark, but whatever. Christy, is True Tam bashing me again? Really? What is? I bet it's in the scripts this week. Bash Mensa. Good lordy. Oh. Christy says, "Hey, MM, I heard something strange that True Tam said about you." I corrected her. She said that people have to pay to speak to you on live chats, which I said, not true. Oh my goodness. Well, it is the beginning of the month, toward the beginning of the month. I know we've noticed that over the last 3 years that in the first week or so of the month, they're usually a little more rambunctious. I don't know, maybe the writer just, dumps a new boatload of scripts the first week of the month. I could put that banner up, though, the one that says, "Give me all your money." Maybe that's where True Tam got confused. I don't know. I think True Tam has some good days and some bad, There it goes. Send me all of your money. There. There you go, True Tam. Christy said, "I also told her that you don't bag her or be rude to her." I just bagged her. I was just kind of rude. I think sometimes she has like really good days, and I think other times she gets kind of, I don't know. Have you noticed? Maybe this is what they're doing. Maybe their scripts this week were to have some kind of a meltdown or some kind of an anger thing. I don't know. Maybe they're all in an acting class. And this week's lesson was how to try to pretend like you're angry or something. I'm not sure, but it seems to me like there are 3 of them now who I've seen trying to do the angry, out of control, crazy thing. And they just don't, I mean, they pull off a couple of those out of the 3, but the whole anger thing, they just don't, well, what's the term for it? I would say like it's overacting, if you know what I mean by that. It's like kind of reaching. Like they've got their script right there in front of them, they're ready to roll, but they just don't connect with the right emotion. You know what I'm saying? So they're overacting. Christy says she's really pissed off that all the other creators wouldn't join her in solving this case. She said nobody cares about the girls, to which I swiftly corrected her. Good for you, Christy. I noticed she was saying that she wants to force law enforcement to open the case or to whatever. She said that a couple of times. And I think that's careless, quite frankly. I think that's careless of her to say. Kay Cooper says it's always been an act with those fruitcakes. Private Pirate doesn't know that you have to send all of your money? Well, that's what they claim, so we'll go ahead and give them what they want to see. Christy said that MRB going off was really funny. I had to turn it off. I mean, to me, it was like, I thought it was kind of obvious. I sent her an email, though, before I thought, wait a minute, that's all just an act, I think. I sent her an email and I said that she needs a friend to tell her to get off of that live chat. And I said, even though, we're not friends, I think she should get off that live chat. Think of it, how many followers she has. Let's just say that she was actually having a public meltdown. Out of all of those subs, not one of them cared enough to text her or to comment or to email her or to call her to say, hey, close it down, chickadee. I mean, if those are her friends, well, she might want to choose better friends, I'm thinking. But as more time goes on and you watch the reaction videos going back and forth, right? The little ping pong. It's all part of the scripts. Good night, Private Pirate. You remember that video coming from the person who's saying people shouldn't be saying mean things, people shouldn't lie, people shouldn't blah, blah, blah. And that video that she made, well, for one thing, she was reading it, no doubt about it. And that's the interesting question, I think. Not so much why is Alice or why is the Moo lady, why is it that either one of them would be taking part in the BS? But who's writing those crappy scripts? Christy says, do we reckon those robocalls are from the scumbag attacker CK that you were getting, MM? You mean the ones that are in the script for the kitchen lady, Alice? I don't know if you noticed, if you watch closely during her meltdown video, you know, she kept the phone handy. There was another video where she had her husband right there, and he was in charge of the phone that day, evidently. Because, of course, if you're getting harassing phone calls, you want to grab the phone and play them, right? You want to hear everything they're saying. I'm joking. Such a thing known as voicemail, which, if you're actually consulting with lawyers and with law enforcement, you might want to let it go into voicemail so that you actually have proof of it. Duh. But did you notice during her more recent meltdown, one time when she clicked on it, well, actually it was a couple times, she got a dial tone instead of the recording. I think it was all scripted. And I think that both she and her husband need to learn a little better how to deal with the phone prop in their act. Christy, I noticed that too. I was wondering if maybe she also had that rare condition that Cindy Watts told her daughter-in-law about, and then a couple days later, all of a sudden, Cece had that condition too. Not one tear. Boy, with all of that crying, how does she do that? Kay Cooper says, how does anyone watch her? Well, you know what we were saying about the AD subs, right? And the AD members in chat. Well, take a look at the Moo lady too. I don't know. Does Moo lady sound, I don't want it to sound negative because I actually like her clothes. I think she does a good job of trying to spiff it up a little bit from time to time. But Moo might have kind of a negative connotation, I think. I think of Gilligan's Island. You know how the daughter of the chief was always getting married off to Gilligan. What's a nicer name? We'll think of one. Poncho Parade. Poncho Parade? Poncho? Trying to think. Who does she remind you of? I mean, the kitchen lady looks just like Alice Cooper, right? We have set the record straight to thank for that. Remember that photo? Oh my goodness. Who does she remind you of? Who does the recliner lady remind you of? But something that isn't negative. Let's see. Okay, so what is it that impresses you about her? I think she has a daughter who's really, I think, intelligent, right? Remember that Alice Cooper picture? Uh, maybe it's too early in the day for me to think of a good one. She's got that look, doesn't she? But man, her little game, and if you pay attention to what just occurred, as soon as I posted, she had to read something, right? Pay attention. She had to read something, and then she rattled off her bullshit. Shrek? Oh, she's. Oh, Christy. My bad. I thought you were saying something about Shrek. I was going to say, no, no, I want something that isn't negative. She's a bit like that lady from the Drew Carey show. Ooh, Mimi. I think that might be kind of a negative connotation too. But she does have that look, doesn't she, as far as the facial expressions? Mimi a lot of times would just say so much without saying a word, right? She looked annoyed, right? But if you pay close attention, she took a minute. She had to read her script first. Mimi would be a better suggestion, I think. Oh, I see. You said Mimi. Duh. Okay. Yeah, and that's the same comment that I thought you said Shrek. I better try to make my little letters bigger here. Vision test at 5 a.m. Oh, wait. When I make it bigger, it goes smaller. We'll just suffer. We'll suffer through. Hey, Miss CD. How are you doing? You missed a good one, Miss CD. Yes, that was the act anyway, Miss CD. I don't think she actually did. I think it was all staged, and I think it was all a script. Just like just now in the recliner ladies chat, she just read from her stupid script too. What a joke. And I tried to play a video that I did that I uploaded to Patreon where I'm reading an excerpt from 1984 about Doublethink, how there are two realities, or actually reality control going on. But if you pay attention, you can see they're being texted by others. They're being told what to say. They're being told when to say it. And they do as they're told. So the question isn't how many shit actresses can they line up to try to pull off this false narrative. The question is, who is lining them up? Who is writing those shitty scripts? I guess it's fitting that shitty actresses and actors get shitty scripts. Which would probably beg the question, would they be such shitty actors and actresses if they had better scripts, maybe? Or would they rise to the challenge? You know what I'm saying? Ray just noticed the ticker. Ray says, "Ha, I just noticed your ticker. Send me all your money." Kay Cooper says the R's, in my opinion. They've controlled the narrative from the get-go. Another thought may be that the shitty actors and actresses are trying to somehow suck up to the R's, hoping to be their next spokesperson. Because I sure as heck have never heard the recliner lady, who we need to come up with a better name than that for her. I'm not sure what that would be. I don't remember her ever trying to do the virtue signaling thing about the case of Christopher Watts. Ever. Christy agrees. She thinks to hide Christopher Watts' wife's mental problems. Ray says, when I am getting hired, I wonder, still waiting. Tonight, Ray on the panel. Crime Mama. Ooh, I like that. Or are you saying Nana? See? When I try to make the letters bigger, they go smaller. Here, I'll turn off the little, I have my foot heater going. I'll turn that off. I'll turn my little lighting thing on. Nana. Crime Nana? Is she a Nana, though? I don't think she's a Nana. Maybe I should call her little sister. Because I think she's like half my age. I do have to say this, though. Of all of the fake acts out there, I do think her little niche is probably one of the more entertaining. Oh, okay, Kay Cooper. She reminds me of my ex MIL, my ex mother-in-law, who we called Nana. Yeah, I think Nanas are usually grandmamas, though. Cold heart, cold feet, mean Bobs when Bobs go wild, the inside scoop. Wow, Ray. Are you launching your next career? I can put you in touch with some people who have scripts. They might not admit it right away, though. They try to get your hands dirty first. So they'll want you to, make a bunch of crappy videos. Oh, testing your new script. Okay. We'll write a script for you tonight. But first we need a name. Oh, let's see. Who was the chapstick model? Because I do think it's interesting how she was trying to say that she wasn't wearing lipstick. Like, come on. Wonder who her makeup artist is. Who was that chapstick model? Was it Christy? I think. I don't want to call her Christy, though, because we have a Christy. Oh, okay. There is a connection there. And no doubt there is a connection there, if you know what I'm saying. Yes, Christy Brinkley. She was the chapstick model, right? So there is a connection. Yeah, maybe we should just stick with recliner. I love how gutsy they are with their scripts. I'm going to mute her, or I'm going to block her, bye-bye, or whatever she said. I have no idea. Well, okay, Cooper, back in the day, way back in the day. The armchair whiner, there you go. So that always works, right? To block, and then go blah, 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 blah. And then she brings up names of two of her mods. Like, what? What a joke. What a joke. And today's too busy. I'm not going to spend any time looking through my emails. Because there's one of them that she named that I'm like, wait a minute. I think that's the one who keeps saying she's blocked. And she isn't blocked. And she knows she isn't blocked. But I think that's their storyline for the day. She's blocked on the other channel. And I don't know how to unblock her because I can't see where she is blocked. So, and you know what? Maybe she isn't even blocked there, quite frankly. Maybe it's just part of her storyline. Ooh, seat warmer. Who came up with seat warmer? Kay Cooper. Chair warmer, seat warmer. Seat warmer is a good one. That's along the lines of park it. Okay, seat warmer it is until we have a better one. Look what Ray said. Let me look. Tales from the nursing chair. 2 million subs, 3 in live chat. Oh my goodness. You want to know the really sad thing about all of this? In the case of Christopher Watts, we have so much to talk about, right? All the details with all the information that was made public for over 3 years. We have so much to talk about. All of the people who are sitting there taking part in the stupid Bash Fest activities on those channels, they don't care about the case. They care about using the case name in their hashtags, but they don't care about the case. Uh-oh, Ray's crossing the line here. She says, I need to go back to work. I'm losing my mind. You'll find it again when the kids are 18. Hey, Mrs. Fluffer. Yeah, I just woke up too. I clicked onto the, what are we calling her? The Seat Warmers channel. And I posted that I thought that the Alice Cooper rant was scripted. And the seat warmer was like, well, she had to read the script first. I don't know if someone contacted her right at that point or if she pulled the script up to read it, that she was probably prepared if I showed up to say. So, of course, she blocked me first before, I might be able to get a good word in response to her bullshit. And then she went off. Right. If they cared, then they would be discussing the video with poor little Bella getting sprayed right in the face. If they cared, they would be trying to figure out what dose exactly lots of Tylenol really is. So poor little Bella and Cece. were subjected to that kind of treatment in their lifetimes. And after their deaths, even though the videos are all over for everybody to see, for the most part, were expected, just like with the movie and the book 1984, we're expected to use doublethink. We're expected to not trust our own memory of what we saw in those videos. We're expected to buy into the very carefully constructed lies. You know, if they're going to lie about whether or not she was a retired nurse or whether or not she was a nurse to begin with, what else are they lying about? Well, the list is long. And the idea that they can just cancel out anybody who actually is thinking, anybody who actually is discussing the case, that they can just, you know, hit them with that memory pen or whatever, is really disgusting. The fact that they were attacking me before I was even on YouTube, the fact that they were attacking me before I had even heard of this stupid case, is part of their story. They need content. They need to pretend that they have people harassing them, right? The seat warmer needs to pretend that she has some kind of an issue. Alice Cooper needs to pretend that she has some sort of an issue. Well, they're always pointing their finger at us. Exactly, Elena. We're the bad ones? Really? And take a look at the ones who I've already said are scumbag attackers. They're all singing the same tune. They're all trying to explain for their viewers how the whole freedom of information thing goes, how the whole freedom of speech thing goes, how the whole terms of service, you know, they're always tapping into, or even back when the other channels were trying to explain what a 35C was. The scripts that are written for those who have more people lining up in their live chats are the ones that are including the little instruction booklets on what it means to be able to speak. And over again, they say that, you know, you can't bash. Really? Have you guys been watching the Durst trial? Have you been taking part in any of the discussion groups on the Durst trial? I think his wife's name was Kathleen. There are a lot of people talking about whether or not Kathleen was a druggie. There are a lot of people talking about whether or not Kathleen was cheating on her husband. There are a lot of people talking about whether or not Kathleen was failing the program she was in. She was, I think, starting her residency as an MD. And in all of those discussion groups, I have yet to see anybody say, stop talking about the case. I have yet to see anybody comment that people are bashing Kathleen. No, they're not bashing Kathleen. They're discussing the case. That's all. But my hunch is that Kathleen's family is not being targeted by a bunch of scumbag attackers who are creating a bunch of BS and then contacting the families and going, look at this, and trying to get everyone up in arms over it. It's okay to talk about Nicole Brown Simpson, isn't it? It's okay to talk about Lacey Peterson. It's okay to talk about Casey Anthony, and she was found not guilty. And with Casey Anthony, it's actual defamation. It's actual slander. But it's okay to talk about Betty Broderick's ex-husband. Nobody is hollering, he's dead, he can't defend himself, stop talking about the case. It's just one case out of thousands of cases. It's just one case that there's a lineup of scumbag attackers equipped with scripts poorly written, full of typos, let me tell you, full of misspelled words, and handed to people who don't have a command of the English language. When you have a channel creator who's a known scumbag attacker who says the word SAGA and pronounces it Sega, like it's some kind of a TV game, then you know you're dealing with a script. People do not use words they don't know how to pronounce. But over and over again, we see it with the scumbag attackers. The idea that there are so many people saying, you're slandering a dead woman, when there's no such thing, is a hint to what we're dealing with. Yes, Ray, and isn't it interesting that the main player as an antagonist in this case, in the case of Christopher Watts, was also involved with that case? Isn't that interesting? And doesn't it make you wonder just what his involvement was with either case to begin with? Renee has a question for Miss CD. Question: how do you propose she gets psychological help? She's dead. Wow, Renee, that was very astute of you. What an astute observation. So isn't that interesting, Christy, that in two cases that he was involved with both, that the issue of whether or not it is allowed to discuss it, right, kind of makes you wonder what his role really is in both cases. I don't even think it's a discussion about the case itself when any of the scumbag attackers jump on board. I think what it is, it's for them to try to make it where people are just afraid to discuss the case to begin with. And if you've never read the book 1984, read the first few chapters. It's exactly what's going on with the case of Christopher Watts, with the case discussion. We're not supposed to think for ourselves. We're not supposed to feel free to speak. Makes no sense. Yet it makes perfect sense, doesn't it, at the same time? The scumbag attackers don't want to discuss the case at all. They just want to read their scripts. Christopher Watts' wife was perfect. She was a saint. She did more than 90% of the other women out there. Bella and Cece were totally happy. They had a very happy marriage. Oh, they had it so good. Oh, they lived in a mansion. Oh, she was so successful. That's the script anyway. She was a retired nurse. That's a good one too, Christy. They fight about who found what. Whoa, 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 whoa. You know, the first person to post crap about me before I even had a YouTube channel was Molly Golightly. She said she wanted to meet me in the alley, and she was mad as hell, and I have no idea why she was mad. But I was obviously on her list of who to attack. Then Keck jumped on board because you know the two of them are two peas in a pod, and she said, nah, someone needs to put her 6 feet under. She plagiarizes her work. Like, what? How do you plagiarize your opinion? Because that's what I do. I write opinion essays on true crime cases. So how do you plagiarize an opinion? But think about this case discussion on the case of Christopher Watts. They're fighting over who discovered whatever about the shadow, right? As if somebody who's discussing the case owns that theory. And by the way, the person who supposedly discovered that, we're told passed away, but now it sounds like she didn't really pass away. Really? What's the truth with that? If you saw the video of poor little Bella having water sprayed in her eyes and you said, oh my gosh, this is terrible, and I said it the Tuesday before you said it, does that mean that I own it? Does that mean that you can't say it? What? He can go ahead and discover whatever he wants to discover. He doesn't have to document whether or not he saw somebody else or, who cares? It's a case discussion. And so what if he says he discovered something? So what? So what? What's it got to do with it? The price of eggs? Nothing. If you don't think that he discovered it and you read his book and you see that he's saying that he discovered it and you think, oh, no, you didn't, buddy. So what? Because the issue isn't who saw what and who said what and who did what and who whatever. The issue is, was there a shadow or not? Kay Cooper says, well, like we said before, those attackers all see themselves in SW, so they think they do no wrong, and therefore SW could do no wrong. Insane, but makes perfect sense. Yes, the resurrection, evidently, and I don't know if they just are using her name or what. I'm not sure. It's weird. Christy says, I see nothing about myself in SW, thank God. Ray says, if they say the behavior is awful, then it means their behavior is awful, as they do far worse, most likely. I agree. I think that's what's going on. They're spending 20 hours a day on YouTube. They're sitting on their duffs. They don't have any careers to speak of. They're seeing themselves. But I think it's even a step worse. I think they're trying to make money off of conning people. And unfortunately, I think that's actually what they see most of all. I don't think they have a problem with people lying. I don't think they have a problem with saying mean things. The other day somebody said how Christopher Watts' wife would never mock anybody. That isn't true. Christopher Watts' wife did mock people. Do you remember the one person who came forward and said that he and his wife had to change their phone numbers because Christopher Watt's wife would not stop harassing them. He claimed that his wife had lupus and that she had somehow gotten their information from one of those Facebook groups. And she would not stop harassing them. She was calling their cell phones, over and over again, and they had to change their phone numbers. Well, look at the scumbag attackers. Look at how they spend their time. No wonder they're not discussing the case. And the saddest part of all is they evidently look at the video of poor little Bella getting water sprayed right into her little face, and they evidently don't recognize that maybe that's not such a good idea to do that to a little girl. So on that note, I just looked at the time, you guys, and I have to run. I have lots to do today. So we will continue this conversation at a later time in a couple days. We'll get together again. Everybody be safe. Seriously, if you're going to go into those other chats, which I'm not saying at all not to, I mean, I'm guilty of it myself, checking to see who's having their scripted meltdown next. But if you're over there, don't engage with any of the, be careful. Be very careful, because as soon as they can peg you as having been in this live chat, then, they'll be lumping you in with who they love to hate. And that's the saddest part of all with the people who have engaged in the attacks against us. It's that simple. Those scumbag attackers and whoever is directing them to attack us, it's pretty obvious. They love to hate.